Welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. We have our regular History Boys feature. We're going to have a look at Manchester City against Tottenham Hotspur on the 1st of February 1992. Yes, we're going back to 1992. Happy days, 1992. Barclays League Division 1. I bet a lot of you watching this weren't even around. There weren't even a twinkle in your dad's eye in 1992. Yeah, Barclays League Division 1. And it's match day 27, we'd call it now, wasn't it? City's 27th game of a 42-game season. They went on forever, didn't they, guys? But we weren't as involved in other competitions as far as City were concerned. We're sitting in the top four, which was nice, although chances of catching the top two, who were United and Leeds, were a bit iffy. Leeds were 11 points and United 9 points clear of us, respectively, at the time. Not impossible, but obviously in those days you didn't need 90-odd points to win the title, so there's always a possibility. Liverpool were in third. Before this game, they were actually on equal points. The actual match programme was showing 3 points less, but I think they'd had a midweek game, so that made the difference. After a couple of away draws, we'd gone into a 2-week break. Yes, it wasn't a winter break. It was just how it was, just a break on a win. We beat Coventry at home and gone for a break for two weeks. Peter Shreves, we'll have a bit more on that, information on that in a minute. We went over to Ireland, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Peter Shreves, FA Cup holders, Spurs, of course, he'd won the FA Cup the season before. They were 11th, so almost about mid-table, 22 teams, 10 points behind City, but had a game in hand. And Spurs, like City, had been knocked out at the very first attempt in this year of the FA Cup. They'd gone out in round 3, but did have a 2-legged League Cup semi-final to look forward to against Nottingham Forest. They would go out of that as well, but hey, there you go. That's football, isn't it? Away from football, yeah, the Queen was coming up to a Ruby Jubilee celebration. The AIDS pandemic increased by more than 50% in heterosexuals over the previous 12 months, so not great news there. Good Night Girl, remember that one? Good Night Girl from Wet 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 topped the singles chart. And Stars by Simply Rag, I think he's called, topped the album charts. I shouldn't say that. I went to see him twice in concert, but it's not my fault. It's my ex's fault. From midnight the night before the game, yes, a few bleary-eyed City fans in the ground that day, to be honest with you. Yes, the adult channel started its run, broadcasting between midnight and 4 a.m. And I believe that 10-minute free introduction, someone told me this, I think, introduction was recorded on video players up and down the country. Well, it might just be mine, I'm not too sure, let me know. Beauty and the Beast and Basic Instinct when entertaining the kids and adults at the UK cinema all in that year. They were the big budget box office takings in that year. And if you stuck a quid under your bed in that day there, the 1st of February 1992, it'd be worth £2.21 now, but so, as I say, you're probably better off spending it, wouldn't you? So back to football anyway. I hope you enjoyed that little look around at general things. Let me know about the adult channel, guys. You old enough to remember that. City took advantage of the 2-week break. We took over to Ireland, as I said before, but some golf, a bit of golf, a couple of friendly games as well. But they were sort of reasonably tucked up safe at a civic reception in Londonderry as nearby terrorist bombs were going off. So perhaps wasn't the greatest idea to go over to Ireland at that time, but hey, these decisions are made. But I think obviously the City switchboard got calls from the families and friends, obviously the players, worrying about them. Obviously, they were convinced they were all safe and there was no problem. But not the best idea from City, was it, at that time? City's match day programme, yeah, it cost £1.20, 32 pages. Nice clean programme, nothing overly exciting. And, of course, for your bedroom wall, you even had a centre page spread, a centre page pull-out of Mark Brennan. How many people put that on your wall? Admit to it now. City had the 6th highest crowd average that season, as at that point in time, 28,683. United were top with 44,464. Liverpool second, 36,006, so a good 8,000 behind them. Arsenal was 33,196. Leeds was 29,553. Yeah, Leeds, well done. And in fifth spot, here we go. In fifth spot, Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, so it's about time they came back in the Premier League. They were averaging 29,460, so just slightly less than Leeds. So yes, we were sixth. So not great, not bad, not fantastic, but not bad. And a crowd of 30,000 were at Maid Road this day to witness this City Spurs game. The lineups: City, Colton, Hill, Poynton, Reid, Curl, Redmond, White, Brightwell, Sharon, McMahon, Hughes, and the subs were Megson and Quigley. Spurs lined up, not overly familiar. I mean, I do recognise the names, but they're not overly well-known names for Spurs. If you think of some of the players they've had over time. Walker, Edinburgh, Fenwick, Sedgley, Howells, Bergson, Stewart, obviously ex-City player Paul Stewart, Jury, Samways, Lineker. Gary Lineker was playing. Allen, I think that was Paul Allen. It wasn't Clive Allen, guys, don't think. Subs were Walsh and Naeem. Naeem, yeah, there's a song about him, wasn't there? The next day's headlines, well, they read as follows. Macca's Cracker, which obviously in relation to Mr. McMahon for City, so obviously it went well based on that. White Magic, yes, it looks as though it did. David strikes to keep City in the hunt. McMahon masters stumbling Spurs. Oh, poor Spurs. Mac, I don't care. Mac and the Magician, or we can still be the main men, says Curl. So yes, we did win the game. Just a 1-0 win though. And we'll go over to Paul Hinds, obviously, for his match report in the following night's Manchester Evening News. Steve McMahon has added a whole new dimension to Manchester City's soccer. At 30, the midfield warrior doesn't gallop around the pitch like he did as a teenager, but he's as ferocious as ever. And even more importantly, he's still got the laser in his brain, which enables him to drop the ball on a sixpence. His shooting wasn't great, though, was it, Paul? Against Spurs on Saturday, Macca showed precisely why the Blues boss Peter Reid handed $900,000 to Liverpool to secure his signature on Christmas Eve. Free from the nagging hamstring injury which dogged his early games, McMahon was the arrogant puppet master, pulling the strings to orchestrate one of City's most attractive displays at Main Road this season. Brilliantly aided by the non-stop Ian Brightwell and the snapping Reid, McMahon took a stranglehold in midfield which wasn't relaxed until the Blues player boss retired to give young Mike Quigley his chance 10 minutes from time. The endless supply of passes delivered with a sniper's precision by McMahon must have been like manna from heaven for David White and Michael Hughes. If there is a slight criticism of an exhilarating display, it is that City's dominance wasn't reflected by the goal tally. The Blues should really have buried the pretty but powder-puff Londoners who badly missed the injured Gary Mabbott. Inevitably, City's all-important goal had the names of Hughes and White etched right through it. A right-wing free kick from the elusive Irish will-o'-the-wisp was floated perfectly towards a penalty spot, where White steamrolled his way through a ruck of defenders to glance home his 15th goal of the season. No striker in the First Division can match White's burst of 9 goals in 11 outings, and that's a statistic Graham Taylor might reflect on before naming the England team for the match at Wembley against France. The Blues could and should have built on White's breakthrough to reduce the goal difference, which is keeping them out of third place. Inevitably, with such a slender lead, City's nerves began to jangle as Spurs sensed they would have to be going back to White Hart Lane with a point they didn't deserve. And they almost pulled off an act of grand larceny minutes from time when former Main Road favourite Paul Stewart suddenly popped up in front of goal with the ball at his feet and less than 8 yards out. Stewart's aim was true and he looked dumbstruck when keeper Tony Colton pulled off another of those miracle saves which must surely take him into the England team before much longer. So my thanks to Stewart there for the match report. And his form guide for the player ratings that day, Colton got an 8. All the following got a 7. Hill, Poynton, Reid, Curl, Redmond and White. Mr. Brightwell got an 8, so he did very well. Sharon got a 7. McMahon, well, he got a 9. That sounds good. And Hughes got an 8 as well. The subs, Quigley got a 6. So he got an okay 6 for coming on with 10 minutes to go. Megson didn't come on. And the goals, White on 29 minutes for City. The attendance, as I said, 30,123. And the ref, Mr. Vic Callow. Yeah, Mr. Vic Callow, he got 7 out of 10. He used to always give good scores to the refs in these days. I've noticed. Perhaps they were better. Perhaps. Man of the match for Mr. Hinds, Steve McMahon, a magnificent display of passing skills from City's 900,000 recruit from Liverpool. And managers Reid's verdict. Yeah, the Reid's verdict in the Manchester Evening News. Our display should be one of one for the eye, one in the eye for the critics, said Reid, who say we can only play the long ball game. Our soccer at times was top class. Steve McMahon is beginning to settle down, and we saw today why I was so keen to sign him. He is a quality player. I was very pleased with our youngsters like Mike Sherrin and Michael Hughes, who's going to be some player when he learns when to release the ball. Did he ever learn when to release the ball? Probably not. And yeah, just a little quick look before we leave this little the paper snippets. Other Division 1 results that day, interesting ones. Arsenal 1, United 1, a crowd of 41,000 there. Crystal Palace 0, Coventry 1, 13,000 at that one. Leeds 3, Notts County 0, 27,000 there. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 2, just over 38,000 there. City 1, Tottenham 0, of course, 30,000. Norwich 2, Southampton 1, just a crowd of just over 10,000 at Norwich. Notts Forest 2, Sheffield United 5, cracking game, 22,000 there. QPR 1, Wimbledon 1, just over 9,000 at QPR. And Sheffield Wednesday 3, Luton 2, a crowd of 22,000 at Sheffield Wednesday. And West Ham 1, Oldham 0, a crowd of just over 19,000. There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Yeah, the result meant we stayed fourth, but equal on points from Liverpool after their result. But we did still have a worse goal difference. Unfortunately, we would lose 5 of the next 7 in the league. So any sort of outside chances of having a tilt at the league certainly went away very, very quickly. Although we did finish the season, as you may remember, as you were there, guys, on a high. We actually won the last 4 games. So we're actually finishing in 5th spot, and that was okay. That was okay for Peter Reid's first full season. Obviously, he took over the season before. Leeds won the title, of course, from United, which was good to see at the time. And Spurs themselves, they dropped down to 15th, so not the greatest rest of the season for Spurs. And the chairman, the chairman, you fired Mr. Alan Sugar himself as the chairman at the time in preparation for the new all-singing, dancing 92-93 Premier League season. Don't forget, it's a whole new ball game, all that sort of thing. Would sack Mr. Shreves. He wasn't impressed with Shreves' performance this season. And introduce it wasn't exactly Mercer and Allison, was it? This or what's the other Cloughie and the other guy with him? I can't remember his name now, guys. But my apologies. Cloughie and Taylor. Yeah, he introduced joint managers Doug Livermore and Ray Clemens. Yeah, wonder how that went on. Probably not too well. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this little History Boys feature. Look back at the 1st of February 1992. Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. We're going to do rest day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, please. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.